Hi all, welcome to anatomy classes. This is Dr. Rajita and today we are going to learn about osteology of lumbar vertebrae, and in previous sessions we have seen about cervical, thoracic and general features of vertebral column. So let's begin with the lumbar vertebra. So the vertebrae which are standing one over the other are the lumbar vertebrae. So there are 5 lumbar vertebrae we can see all together forming a part of posterior abdominal wall. So let's see the features of individual vertebra. There are 5 lumbar vertebrae. Out of 5 lumbar vertebra, the first 4 vertebrae are typical lumbar vertebrae and the last vertebra, that is the L5, fifth lumbar vertebra, is atypical lumbar vertebra. So before going to the features of typical lumbar vertebra, let's see some peculiarities of a lumbar vertebra. So to identify it as a lumbar, we have to see for the body. The body is quite massive and large in the lumbar vertebra compared to that of vertebral canal, and vertebral canal is triangular in shape. So in cut section it appears to be like a triangular and the body is quite massive. And if we look over the superior articulating process, so these two are the superior articulating process bearing superior articulating facets. So superior articulating facets are concave, they are concave, and inferior articulating facets we can see they are facing forwards, and inferior articulating facets are present over the inferior articulating process and these facets are convex. So there is a process which is called as accessory process, which stands as a peculiar feature for a lumbar vertebra. Here is the transverse process. On the postero-inferior side of the transverse process, this is the postero-inferior side of the transverse process, there is a small projection which is called as an accessory process. Similarly, there is a process over the superior articulating process also. So the process which is near to the superior articulating process, near to the facet, the projection, is called as mammillary process. So presence of mammillary process and accessory process demarcates it as lumbar vertebra. And let's see the features of a typical lumbar vertebra. Features of a typical lumbar vertebra: the body is massive and vertebral canal is triangular, and the body, this is the superior surface of the body which is covered by the hyaline cartilage, and the inferior surface of the body is also covered by the hyaline cartilage where it articulates with the intervertebral disc to form a secondary cartilaginous joint. The anterior surface of the body gives attachment to anterior longitudinal ligament. So anterior longitudinal ligament is attached here, and posterior surface of the body, which forms the wall of the vertebral canal, gives attachment to posterior longitudinal ligament. Lateral to the anterior longitudinal ligament, the vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae on the right and left, they give attachment to the crura of diaphragm. So the left crura gets origin from upper 2 lumbar vertebrae, that is from L1 and L2 along with the intervertebral disc, whereas the right crura, which is little bulkier than the left, and it gets origin from upper 3 lumbar vertebrae, that is L1, L2, L3. So on the anterolaterally we see the origin of right crura and the left crura on the left. The lateral side of the body on the either side gives attachment to the psoas major muscle. So psoas major muscle gets origin on the lateral side, and anterolaterally crura of the diaphragm, and anteriorly anterior longitudinal ligament gets attached. So this is about the attachments to the body. And vertebral foramen is triangular in the lumbar vertebra, and the spinal cord ends up at the level of L1. So the lower tip of the spinal cord, which is called as conus medullaris, present at the level of L1. Meninges, that is the dura mater, arachnoid matter, is present all through the length of the vertebral column in lumbar vertebra, and whereas the pia mater continues below the conus medullaris as filum terminale. And below the spinal cord there are the tuft of nerves which appears to be like a horse tail, called as cauda equina. They are present below the level of L1. So these are the contents of vertebral canal. And let's see the features of vertebral arch. The vertebral arch is formed by the pedicles. There are right and left pedicles which are thick and stout bones, connects the vertebral arch to the body, and the pedicles attaches to the upper part of the body, so making a superior vertebral notch as the shallow and the deep inferior vertebral notch as quite deeper notch. So the deep inferior vertebral notch articulates with the superior vertebral notch, making it as a complete foramen, which is called as intervertebral foramen, through which the corresponding spinal nerves comes out. So superior notch is shallow and inferior vertebral notch is deeper. So this is how we identify which is superior and which is inferior. The laminae of the lumbar vertebra, they are short and thicker, and which converge to form the spine. The spine is quadrangular in shape. These laminae on right and left lamina gives attachment to ligamentum flavum. The laminae also gives attachment to the deep muscles on the back. Next, about the spine. The spine is the quadrilateral. Here it is quadrilateral in shape. That is the unique feature of a lumbar vertebra. The tip of the spine gives attachment to interspinous ligaments, supraspinous ligaments, and on the either side the spine also gives attachment to posterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. The transverse process are short and tapering, and these are the transverse process. The transverse process, the tip of the transverse process gives attachment to medial and lateral arcuate ligament. So from the tip of the spine to the tip of the transverse process, the ligament which is present is called as medial arcuate ligament, which is attached to the lumbar vertebra L1, and from the lateral transverse process, the lateral arcuate ligament gets attached from here, and it runs laterally to attach to the 12th rib. So that is about the medial and lateral arcuate ligaments which attach to the L1 lumbar vertebra. The transverse process also gives attachment to the deep muscles of the back, and the transverse process has an accessory projection on the posterior side, which is called as accessory process or accessory mammillary process. The next important feature about the lumbar vertebra is the distance between the two articulating facets. The distance between the two superior articulating facets is more compared to the distance between the two inferior articulating facets, which is reversed in L5. That is the reason it is an atypical lumbar vertebra. So in a typical lumbar vertebra, the distance between the two superior articulating process is more compared to that of the distance between the two inferior articulating process. So let's see the features of atypical lumbar vertebra. So here is the atypical lumbar vertebra, which is the fifth lumbar vertebra. The only vertebra which is atypical among lumbar is the fifth. It is also having a massive body like other vertebra. The major difference is the distance between the two articulating processes. That is, the distance between the two superior articulating process is smaller when compared to that of the distance between the two inferior articulating process. Whereas in a typical lumbar vertebra, the distance between the two superior articulating process is larger or bigger compared to that of the distance between the two inferior articulating process. In L4, the distance between the two superior articulating process is equal to that of the distance between the two inferior articulating process. And the spine is short and less quadrilateral and rounded in L5, and body is massive, and inferior surface of the body articulates with the sacrum, that is the first vertebra of the sacrum. So the inferior articulating surface articulates with the sacrum to form lumbosacral joint, which is the most movable vertebral joint. This is L4. So to identify it as L4, this is not atypical, it is a typical lumbar vertebra. But we can see here the distance between the two superior articulating process, it is almost equal to the distance between the two inferior articulating process. So when we compare the distance between the two processes, superior and the inferior, they are almost equal in L4. So we can identify this as L4 and we can identify this as L5. Thank you all. I hope you all like this session, and in the next session we are going to continue with the osteology of sacrum. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell icon for further notifications. Bye.